Hello, hello, hello. We are making a video. Baby dog and I will not put Paul into the video. He doesn't want to be in the video. But baby dog doesn't mind being in the video. Yes, he thinks it's okay. That is okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yes, it is okay. So, we want to make a video today about Charlie Kirk and my speculations on that situation. So I am half lying down because I have to lie down for my sciatic leg nerve. That's a fact. I have to keep the sciatic leg nerve completely stretched, the whole area in my spinal cord. It has to be stretched, and I can't be sitting down and putting pressure on those vertebrae that could possibly. Paul showed me a computer generated video of it's a computer generated animation video, not adapted from the real photographs, but it's a recreation, an animation type of recreation of the spinal column and these nerve endings that are going in between the spine, the vertebrae into the spinal column. So it's a complicated system of biology. Really amazing and complicated and delicate also. And if we abuse it by sitting down for 8 hours or 10 hours per day, then at some point it's just too much for the spinal column, and then it causes inflammation, and it causes mass to come out and press on that sciatic leg nerve, and that can cause unimaginable pain in the entire leg and the calf. And I mean, it was incredible what that did to me last year in October. So it was that was the worst pain I've ever had in my entire life. So I have to sit like this and show my double chin. I have no other choice. It is what I have to do. So, but anyway, I've been thinking about all of these bits and pieces that I see on the internet, on X, different information. I'm not interested in drama stories, and I'm not interested in division stories and political division and drama, artificially created drama and fights and baby dog, no, here, I will put it on. Here, lie down now, down, lie down now. I put this on. Here, lie down now, down, lie down. Down now, down. So, you have to make sure to cover your dog at all times, particularly in American Amstaff or the naked dog from South America. So they have to be covered at all times. This is very important information. So yeah, I'm not interested in the drama. I'm not interested in these political fronts and wars and all of that. I am not on board with either party. I don't like any of the parties that we have. that are available for people. So I would vote for an independent person anytime. Unfortunately, the vast majority of people are very mentally, psychologically identified with a specific society, specific party, and religion. It's all the same. Or football team. It doesn't matter what. It's all the same. This is all the same psychological drama and mechanism. Okay? And that's the fact. So there's no difference between someone going to some soccer game dressed up and rooting for one of those teams, or basketball teams, or whatever sports teams. There's no difference between showing up for a sports team, not even playing sports, but being like identified with that sports team. There's no difference between that and being identified with the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or the Libertarian Party or Green Party or any party that's out there. Okay, that's a fact. Or religion. So that's a fact. Okay, just keep that in mind. Step out of it. Okay, so in the situation of Charlie Kirk, I watched some of his interviews. Before he was shot, I had never noticed Charlie Kirk. Maybe I've seen him on X or something, but I didn't know who that was. And there's so many politicians that I see on X that have something to say. So usually I don't even read it because it has to do with signing up for the Republican Party or being like super Republican or Christian, any kind of Christian message. I usually turn that off. I don't hate these people. I don't block them. They're just part of the landscape for me. So I don't notice it. So I started to look at Charlie Kirk after that horrific assassination happened. And that drew my attention, of course. If someone is being assassinated, that means that person was actually making a difference. That person was actually helping to make the world a better place, or he would not have been assassinated, right? So this is a final and horrible thing that happens to people, but it's also, it's a declaration of honor. That's what it is. It's a declaration of real honor. That person was a martyr. That person was speaking out courageously to help. And when people do that, they will take that risk of being assassinated or just being sniped. And that can happen to anyone that speaks out, anyone. It particularly happens to those people that speak out, and those people that cannot be heaven bound or shadow bound anymore, because they had already gathered enough of a friendship group and support system from enough people that would not let that person be shadow banned and heaven bound. They can only shadow ban people while they are absolutely not known at all by the public. So here, lie down. Down. So he gets cold very, very fast. So, yes, it's a good. I'm sorry. So, yes. So, so, okay. Ian, I love you. Infinitely much. That is that is the truth, is that. So I better cover myself with the sleeping bag. So, okay. There. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I guess the light adjustment is a little better than before. So it's pretty good now. So I think the computer has a way of configuring itself in the way it shows the way it shows the picture, the image. So in the beginning it was dim, and then it started to have better luminosity after a while. So this is great. This is a real great computer. This computer is flexible, and it's intelligent, and it adapts itself to every single individual user, to your personal specific life's needs. So now this is something else. This is something from the future that is here now. So this is incredible. So yeah, so there's always this war between parties, that when both parties in fact are both run by, I used to say, the corporate agenda in the past, but Paul had to correct me many times, and I had to think about the terminology. Corporate agenda. What do I mean by corporate agenda? I mean the underworld. I mean the behind the scene governing bodies, not the official governing bodies, but the ones that are the string holders, really, that are behind the scene, that orchestrate things into certain situations, the way they have planned a chess move 100, 200 chess moves ahead, right? So those people that are behind the scenes holding the puppet strings of individual people and entire masses of people, okay? They have that much leverage. That's a truth, that's a fact. So after I started to look into Charlie Kirk and who was this man, and what did he even what was he talking about, what was his intention, I look at all of these different things. I look not only at what someone says, I also look at their body language, I look at their face, our facial musculature that we have, that we have thousands of different muscles in our face, and these muscles, they react to certain emotions. That's why I always said I have an open book face. Okay, so I do not have a poker face. I have the opposite of a poker face. My face is always readable. Always. So I could never be a poker player. I could never be a collaborator for anyone, right? Just for that very reason alone. Not to mention that I would never be a collaborator, because I believe in making the world a better place. And I can see in Charlie Kirk's face that he too wanted to make the world a better place. And so I think he's probably coming from a conservative background and from a Christian background. But as with every genuinely caring and good person, the religion or the culture that they grew up in is always secondary. What takes the precedence over everything else is their not just a belief, but their knowing in their conviction, their inner conviction of this is what needs to be done to help these people that have been wronged. This is what needs to be done to help innocents from being victimized. Okay? This is what needs to be done to restore justice. This is what needs to be done to bring criminals to justice. Okay? So we'll discuss the kind of justice, the way it should be conducted. We'll discuss that another time, and I've talked about this before. What I envision to be our justice system and how it should be conducted. So things are going to change for sure, because our justice system, the way we have it, it's not very functional at all. Okay? That's a fact. But I see this person, and I see this extreme energy of love and enthusiasm, and I know this is a person who really cares. Okay? So people who really care, they get usually shadow banned, heaven banned. But they can't heaven ban you and shadow ban you when you are actually going out there, getting your hands dirty with germs, or even hugging people that are sick, and going out there and helping homeless people, and doing street rallies of kindness, and getting people interested in voting, in this case Republican, because Donald Trump just so happened to be signing up under the Republican Party. He is neither Democrat nor Republican. He is standing rock solid on his own 2 feet, as every caring person would. Okay? Every caring person, whether they grow up this or that, or I grew up extreme, fundamentalist, radically liberal. Okay, that's how I grew up. I had to question that big, huge. Okay, the whole thing had to be re-evaluated 100 times, okay, from any perspective possible, because I can clearly see now that it doesn't matter what side you belong to, the underworld, the underground puppeteering stringholder world, they know how to hijack anything. They have hijacked religions for so long, for longer than you have existed. Okay, they have already manipulated your religion that you always identified with, that you thought was safe. They had already had that in their vest pocket, with their vested interest. Okay, trust me on that. That's the truth. They had that in their hands. They used that strategically. They weaponized it against you. They manipulated you with it. I mean, front, center, right and left. Okay, up and down. They manipulated you with that. And you need to drop your ego, and you need to come clear about this fact. Okay, that there are unbelievably greedy people out there. So I don't want to hear anymore, we are all the same, and everyone is inherently good, or some bullshit like that. Okay, we're all extremely different, and we should embrace that, and we should embrace our own quirks and our own personality and our own beingness. Okay, you don't have to look like the other or be like the other, but be good, be a good person. Okay, that's the only thing that matters in the world. That's the only thing that matters. Be a good person. Most people, I guess, don't even know what that means, be a good person. Most people have no idea. They think you need to pray to Jesus to be good, or some bullshit like that. Doesn't make you good. That has never made anyone good, to pray to Jesus. You don't even know who Jesus was. You have no idea. You get some watered down, corrupt, MK Ultra version of Jesus that's presented to you, and you have no idea who that person actually is. Okay, some dictator they made. I mean, it's amazing what they made out of that figure. A dictator, like a CEO of Monsanto or something. So, and they sure have woven that stuff in with religion, and you know it. If you really look at it, you can clearly see it. So they made Jesus into not liking solar panels and all of that kind of stuff. I've seen this locally here with our realtor. We have a realtor, I love him, but he is hopelessly lost in that fundamentalist, evangelical, whatever, Pentecostal, born again Christian religion. Okay? And he thinks solar panels are bad. And yeah, that is who told him that. The religious ministers who have been given this entire speech, this entire belief. So it's been embedded into them systematically and strategically. Okay, that's what it is. And so, and then of course they give incentives to that religion, governmental incentives, because that's what the underground players, that's how they always function. They will use our tax money and maybe some innocent politicians to push that forward, and they have their excuses for it. They'll say, "Oh, religion helps people, or it makes people not feel lost, or whatever." There are other people. I've seen it all. There are other people on the internet, courageous people, that have come forward already years ago, 15 years ago already, that have young girls and men of all ages and children have come forward. And they found real solace in the atheist movement, because the atheist movement was at least was a stepping stone in their lives at that time that gave them the platform of freedom of speech and a real, genuine discussion forum. Okay, and I'm grateful for that. Those were the pioneers. Those were the early founders of YouTube. Okay, before they were taken over by the coup of the underworld stringholders that saw, oh, these Christians were becoming atheists. We gotta do something about it. We can't manipulate them anymore when they're atheists. Dang, let's disable the video response feature. So that really disrupted a lot. Most people didn't even notice it. These things are subtle, but these things have such enormous power. Just the video response feature that they used to have in 2008, 2007, 2008, that enabled a real, genuine, like live discussion. There was even responses under people's videos were live for a while. That all changed once the coup had taken over. The coup de grace, coup de grande of the underworld Rockefeller, the bad ones. Not all the Rockefellers are bad. Not all the Rothschilds are bad. Okay, so for example, Madame Countess Beatrice de Rothschild was an artist, like me. She was an artist. She was a music lover. She loved the music by Chopin. He wrote a specific waltz for her, just for her. These people were sensitive. There were a lot of artists in those families. Amazing people. Why would they all turn out to follow into the footsteps of really corrupt people? And I guess even the very beginnings of these dynasties were not very corrupt. They were just like more self-preservative, and they were just extremely smart. And then, of course, there's evolution, and some bad apples happen that are really corrupt, and then some that are in the middle, and some that are ultra sensitive and kind and want to make the world a better place. So don't smear those names into the ground. They have good people and they have bad people, like all of us on this planet have good people and bad people, and the bad people are just, those are lost children. These are confused people, my brother included. Okay, those are very confused people. They are confused to the point of where they don't know what's right or wrong. They don't know what's good or bad. They don't know what a good politician actually is or a bad one is. They're very, very confused. And they're like a reptile who eats a spider. Okay, because spider is there. And they don't know that spider wants to live too, right? I mean, for a reptile, they have to eat, of course. But a reptile? A humanoid looking reptile? No, they do not have to take someone's peace, health, happiness away. They do not. And so this leads me now to what I've been wanting to talk about in this video. This is real serious. This is a real serious thing. I've been thinking about why would they assassinate Charlie Kirk? And what actually happened there? How was he assassinated? What happened there at the hospital? apparently he wasn't dead right away. Just like with Anne Heche, the actor lady. They have been trying to assassinate her and through car accidents, and they manipulated her brake system in the car. Her brake system was completely disabled. She didn't know. She drives down the street, she could not stop the car. She drove into the corner of a house. And they kept on trying to kill her. And funny, they were all right away there, the ambulance. Usually it takes a little longer if someone calls the ambulance, because they have to get ready, they have to drive over there. But the ambulance was right there in 1 second, so red flags. And they put her into a body bag. She was still alive. She unzipped the body bag from inside, tried to get out. They pushed her back down. They beat her back down. Security cameras have all recorded the whole thing. And then they killed her in the hospital. People have seen her alive. She was injured, but she was alive. She was talking, everything. And then the wrong nurses, the ones that were bribed, they went in there and they finished her off. And they did that also with that Floyd, okay, that guy Floyd. And they did that with a lot of people, okay, so a lot of people. So I think they did it also with Charlie Kirk. So maybe that bullet that hit his throat, because he was moving his head while he was talking animatedly, and the shooter trying to steady his gun from afar, from another rooftop or something. Just the same with Donald Trump's assassination attempt, okay? So Donald Trump suddenly moves and the bullet only pierces through the ear. So I know that Donald Trump is protected by the Galactic Federation and the Blue God. I know for fact. Okay. And so the bullet hit him in the throat and severed some serious blood vessels, but he was not dead, and they could have probably fixed it. They could have fixed him in the hospital, but instead they finished him off. Okay, so that's what I believe. I could be wrong. So, and then who are the people that surrounded him? You know, who are those people? Who is J.D. Vance? Who is Erica Kirk? I let you ask these questions. I'm not accusing these people because I don't have anything. I don't have any evidence against them. I'm glad I don't. Maybe that will save my life, right? But I have my suspicions about those people. I really do. I have my serious suspicions. Just because J.D. Vance is there and praising Donald Trump and all of that, and maybe genuinely praises him, but I don't know what his intentions are. Why is he there? And why was he suggested by Peter Thiel? Okay, that's another one that is like a real big player. I think Peter Thiel is one of those chess players, those underground chess players. That's what it looks like to me. I could be wrong again, but that's what it looks like to me. Apparently he's German. What is he doing here in the U.S. government? So why would he highly recommend J.D. Vance as vice president to Donald Trump? Donald Trump almost replaced J.D. Vance. A lot of people were against J.D. Vance. A lot of people that said, no, that's a mistake. You gotta revoke that. You gotta recall that. You gotta take someone else before you inaugurate this person. And so Donald Trump was not sure what to do, because obviously Donald Trump, he can't have 1,000 eyes in his head. He only has 2 eyes, and he is already occupied with so much work. And Elon Musk too. They are flooded with work and requests and people and press conferences and questions and tasks and all of these things. He can't oversee all of that. There's no way. So for that, the underworld government always has their players, their strategic players already set up. Here, this is another, here's another one we can suggest to become vice president. And that guy, if he is being delegated into this by the underworld, then they told him, we will make you president if you do what we tell you to do. Okay? Just play your part and also be an informant, and they'll do the same with Erica Kirk. They see great people rising often in the very beginning of their rising. Even before their rise, they see great people. The corporate, the underworld. They see great people even when they're still children. And they try to break them. Ask Anneke Lucas. She can tell you all about it. She can tell you all about David Rockefeller. Okay. And all of these people that have tried to break her mind and her soul. They cannot break her soul. They broke her psychologically, but she did not let them corrupt her or change her. She picked up the pieces. She did everything as soon as possible, as she could, to fix herself, even as a child, even as a teenager, as a young woman. Okay. She fixed herself. She has an old soul. She fixed herself. And she has a story for you. Okay. Read her books, Anneke Lucas. Read her books. And then you know that people are not inherently good. Okay. So she is, Anneke Lucas is, but not the people that try to break her. Okay. They see everything, these underworld people. They see Marilyn Monroe before she was famous. They see, now they were in a conflict with Marilyn Monroe. They knew she was what men wanted. Okay. It's a cash cow. But they also saw that Marilyn Monroe had a humongous heart and kindness and compassion and power. Mental soul power. And so now they were like, it's kind of like a double-edged situation for them. Okay, so what do we do now? If we don't make her famous, then we can't use her as a cash cow. Right? She generated so much money for them. And if they make her famous, then she might expose people because she's highly intelligent and compassionate. That's a dangerous combination for these people in the underworld. So they'll play it out until these people are starting to get exposed through Marilyn Monroe and John F. Kennedy. Okay. They were exposing people. They were building up a case. Okay, so what do? The underworld people? They sniper them out. Okay, or they make it look like a suicide. They know their ways. Okay, they sure do. So no, not all people are inherently good. Okay, so we're not all equally the same. Okay, we're very different. We couldn't be more different. But the underworld people, those are people that are very confused. Okay? They don't know anything about love, reality, kindness, the energetic grid of the infinite cosmos that is powered by love. Love is the highest power there is. You couldn't even utilize it as a cash cow or as a means of manipulation. Because love in itself is in a completely different realm than in the realm of materialistic thinking, manipulation, fraud, dishonesty, and corruption. So it's a completely different realm. It can touch our realm here. Jiddu Krishnamurti talked about this with David Bohm for over 50 years. Listen to their conversations. They know what they're talking about. So the underworld people, when they see someone who has intelligence, who's tuned in, who has an old soul, who is tapped in to the infinite, who is able to love, and someone who's able to love is a dangerous person for them. Because someone who's able to love will put love over their own existence. And someone like this cannot be controlled. That's a fact. Okay. It's a very simple fact. So they probably saw Charlie Kirk coming. They saw, oh, he may be a fundamentalist. He may be coming from a very pious background, a very conservative background. But obviously, he has paid attention already in high school to different things. When we have older souls, these things do not escape from our attention. We may be discombobulated in the moment, but what we saw will burp up later on. Once we see it in a different light, we remember it, and we put it like a puzzle piece into its missing opening space in the puzzle piece. Okay. Suddenly, these puzzle pieces fit, and we can see it from another angle, with another light, with another perspective. And then we understand. We understand that what we saw there 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, suddenly makes sense. That's why they talk like this. That's why they humiliated me. That's why they hated me so much. Because they're insecure, because they thought I might blow the whistle or this or whatever it is. Okay? So That's exactly what it is. Okay, anyone who has been abused by family members, they don't have to be part of the underworld, but they're manipulated by the underworld very badly, MK Ultra. And when you are not MK Ultra, when you care, when you see through things, you get declared 5150 by those people. You get declared meshuggah and completely insane. So they can keep face, so that they can keep their chin up with their dishonesty and their fakeness and the lies they believe. Because it takes a lot of courage to say, dang, I was misled, right? It takes a lot of courage for the ego, for the mind to say, I was wrong, okay? My daughter was right. It takes a lot of courage to say that. So, if you are one of these beaten down clowns, like I was, don't take it personally. They did it to save their face, okay? And some of them are even players. Some of them are even string holders, okay? And then they're even more mean and vicious to their children. Some of them kill their children when they see, oh, there is a child who doesn't play our game. That child could become dangerous. That child could become a whistleblower. What if that child has seen a puzzle piece here and there, and then later on begins to ask questions? Those are the children that are often suicided. And this has been going on for probably thousands of years, okay, this game. But I see now the public is beginning to ask questions. People like my parents, maybe not, but people from my generations are beginning to ask questions. Their children's generation are really asking questions, and their children's generation is already coming equipped with a higher intelligence, with much more power and the ability to ask questions than anyone before them. Okay, so you know who you are, all of you star seeds out there. You know you're a star seed if they try to silence you. Okay, so don't take it personally. Keep going, but protect yourself. Protect your animals, protect your children. Protect your younger brothers and sisters. Protect your horses. Protect every living being around you. Don't be naive with people that try to silence you or try to make you crazy. Don't trust these people at all. Anyone who tries to make you crazy, who tells you that you are just crazy, don't trust them. You can't trust them. So that's my theory about Charlie Kirk, and I have speculations. I was thinking about this earlier when I woke up. There are underground people in the underworld, in hell. They're literally in hell. Literally in hell. That's where this whole thing about Hades comes from. This has been going on for thousands of years. And this is not something mythological or something, it's not something biblical or something that is mysterious or... No, it's not. It's not mysterious. These people in the underworld are sick people, and they are baby souls, they are new souls, and they are deeply confused. Some of them are coming forward now. Some of them are now blowing the whistle to protect themselves out of fear, because they know this system is cracking down. Okay. It's just a matter of time until all of these people are going to get exposed. It's just a matter of time. It's already happening. Come forward. Let's speed this up. Come forward with your testimonies. And even if it's against your own family members, so what? Okay? Family is not only based on blood. Family is based on love. We're not blood related, neither one of us. But we're family. And we're more family than my German family has ever been for me. This is the truth. And here's an interesting dream my mother had. Very interesting. I'm just remembering the dream right now in this context. My mother, who was confused, very confused. She wanted femme, she wanted to love me, but she couldn't. Her ego couldn't love me. Okay. So she was manipulated and she was confused. And she was not there yet. She wasn't really bad, but she was still like a juvenile soul. Okay. And so when I'd moved to LA, I met Paul, we moved north, and I visited them a few times. It wasn't very happy. Okay, I came back to Paul like 4 times. I came back. I left. Didn't like him. We don't work out very well. But here's what it is. He cares about animals. To me, that alone is a miracle. That I met someone who cares about animals like I care about animals. That's a miracle. To meet someone like that among how many people are in LA? A billion people or more? I met one person. Nicola, met in person one person who cares about animals. Okay? So I'm sure there are others, and there are people that sign my petitions on the street and all of that, but they don't stick around. So, and it's not really meeting, right? They sign a petition, they walk off. Some of them were famous, some of them cared. But I don't know how much they cared, but they cared enough to sign my whale petition. And maybe some of them really cared, like us. But they're busy, they're not, it's not like I can meet them and hang out with them. But I met someone humble, Paul, okay, who wasn't famous, who wasn't busy, who stayed with me as a friend, okay? And we became family for that reason, not for a romantic reason. We tried that, didn't work out. That didn't. And he's a pain in the butt. And I am for him. Okay? And even with that situation, this situation of not being mentally in other ways compatible, and totally not. His brain works totally different to mine. He's very linear, very materialistically thinking, but he has, because of his kindness, he has stuff in him that contradicts his material thinking. Okay? So, but then he doesn't even think about it twice, why that contradicts his material thinking. Because material thinking always wants, the material thinking is a defense mechanism. He wants to stay in charge. Okay, so my mother wanted to my mother was also trying to stay in control, but in a very confused way, of course, and in a very adverse way towards me. There were moments where she was battling with an inner battle between wanting me to die and wanting me to survive. I felt it, I sensed it, okay? Die because she was jealous. It was hell for her. Hell that I was there in her life. And I had that soul connection to the infinite cosmos. And she saw that, and it made her jealous. She thought I am irresistible to men. Okay. I didn't believe it, not the slightest bit. And not least because she told me I was not desirable for men. She made sure to tell me that. Because she knew I was. That's why. This is so incredibly sad. It's so incredibly awful. She made me crazy with that. She made me think I need to hide myself. She made me think I have to be modest, humble, meek. I have to be a meek mouse, right, at all times. It brings up hatred in me, but she's dead. I see her suffering. I see her agony. I should have run away. As a child, I didn't know, of course. I didn't know any of this, what I know now. I should have run off. Should have gone to Jiddu Krishnamurti. Should have taken my rabbit. And the Great Dane for my grandfather. And hopefully my grandmother, if she possibly would do that for me. We should have stolen my grandfather's Mercedes. That's the only vehicle we had. Or the station wagon in his stamp business. Any of the vehicles, right? Should have taken that. I don't even think my grandmother knew how to drive a car. She didn't believe in herself. For the same reason why I didn't believe that I had anything to say. Or for the same reason that I felt ugly and unimportant to people. I felt like everything that would come out of my mouth would just be clown talk. The reason why I make these videos is because of an inner conviction. I still feel this insecurity, but it's overridden now by my inner conviction of talking about it, because I think it is vitally important that we talk about it. Some people will say, don't pack out your emotional baggage to the public. No, and I say to you, pack out all of your emotional baggage. Pack it out. Pack it all out. Everything. Don't leave anything untouched. If people don't want to watch your videos, they can move on. Watch someone else's video. Someone who's nice and meek and or whatever. Feeds your ego. Or titillates you with your imagination or whatever. We people who have been suppressed and oppressed, it is time for us now to speak it all out. Everything, absolutely everything, leave nothing untouched. I talk about it all, even the embarrassing things. All of it. I felt embarrassed my entire life. until it dawned on me why I felt embarrassed. I started to realize that I am not stupid. I am not embarrassing. It took me a long time to realize that. How sad, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I'm here in a rat-infested, mold-infested house from 1930. I love this house, though. I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked at the shadow that's cast by the rhododendron tree on the wall, by this distant lamp post there that is like half a mile away. I can see through the trees. I can see the distant mountains. This is beautiful. It probably used to be real nice, like a real nice gingerbread house, until people did terrible things to this house. Made open things. The roof is falling off. But I live here, and I admired this house when we were living in a motorhome, so I am not ungrateful. Not at all. I'm very deeply grateful. But the reason why I'm here, lonely, often desperate, often crying and feeling sorry for myself. I have these moments, okay? Paul yelling, miserable. He's very unhappy. Okay, he's unhappy with me. I'm difficult to deal with. I question everything. Okay, I'm constantly arguing. I have a better solution, my way or the highway. Okay. And he is a bitch. Okay, so. But I'm deeply grateful because he's family, because he cares about animals. That is so much more important. That's paramountly more important than any of the other problems. That's a fact. But I'm here in this situation because I've never, ever believed in myself. We were lucky in there. His mother inherited her house to him in LA. A humble house, but LA, certain area code, brought the price up. So he got the money. I helped him with it. I helped him with every step of the way. I gave someone my artwork to do notary work for us. We did it. We made it happen. Okay. And then we moved into the motorhome. And Cousin Kenny called us the richest homeless people in LA. And we explored. We could have bought a hot spring house, probably would have been great, for the same money that we made with selling our house. But Paul wanted to explore, and he wanted to see the north, and he wanted to travel. And so I said, okay, then that's what we do. Because I didn't have any say over his finances. So I had to just go along with it. Or I would have bought that hot spring house. I would have, right? I mean, that's just the next step to do, right? For me, the next logical step. But then we wouldn't have had any money to live on. I would have had to work, and would not have been easy, obviously. So we're living on the savings. But it's not like a savings that there will be endless. Even with us being old, it's still not endless, that saving. Okay, we know very well how we have to budget that money. And so we're in this situation. I'm in this situation. I could not give presentations. Why? Because my mother has put me down. My grandfather too. My dad too sometimes. I was their clown that they beat down on. Okay? difficult. All of this here is difficult. Trust me, it's not easy for me to have to navigate the computer like this. If I just show a sliver of his beard, So it's not easy. Makes me angry. It's very difficult. We fight a lot. It's hell. But you know what? He cares about animals. That is a high-rise building. Higher than any of that other stuff. The fighting. Caring about animals. Family. Okay? And that's why I am here. That's why we're here. As friends. Best friends. He's my best friend. Without benefits. Yeah. Literally in every single way. I say that. Okay? There's not many benefits. There is no romance. There is no sex. There is no physical touch at all. There is difficulty. Ice water in the winter that comes out of the sink. Okay. Hot water heater gets turned off right after taking a shower. Like people living in the 1800s, sort of. And my haters hating on me because they spy on everything I do, making fun of me for not taking a shower every day. Bro, let's trade places for 1 week. Let's see how you manage. Let's see how you manage turning that water heater on with extra force of your hand, pinching into your skin. This lever from 1900 or whatever. Okay? And then waiting for 2 hours until the water heats up. Then going into a mold-infested shower bathtub where the wall is sprinkled with mold spots. Do it. You can try that for a week. So I'll trade places. I'll live in your mansion that you made with catfishing, with the photos from people like me that thought you were their boyfriend. Okay. So let's trade places for a week. See how you like it. See how often you take that shower in that mold-infested bathtub. And even the bath rug, the bath stepping pad, headphones, even the bath thing there, this non-slip thing with bubbles, I don't know how it's called, non-slip padding or whatever, that should also be cleaned frequently. It's a lot of work, everything, I tell you that. Okay, I don't know anyone who would absolutely love to do that all the time. I don't know. But I have to lie down again because I don't want to get sciatic leg nerve problems. So, it is what it is, okay? That's what it is. And I have nothing to hide. I don't feel embarrassed anymore. I mean, yeah, I don't have privacy. I guess maybe the fact that I don't have privacy anymore in my life. That my haters spy on everything I do. On every one of our computers. They do remote viewing. Okay? And I guess because I'm they view me like a weird creature. Like a potato bug or something. Like a potato bug. The first time I saw a potato bug was at the Primal Center in LA. We were doing some gardening work in that little garden space that they had behind there. And I was digging in and all of a sudden a potato bug plopped up with that shovel and I'm like, what is that? Is that an ET? Oh my gosh. I always screamed when I saw them, but I also loved them. They are so gorgeous. So they're pink and very squishy. They're as big as my thumb. So, but I think the haters, they view me like this, to them I'm like a potato bug, like something so weird. How can she make videos when she is fat? How can she show herself with a double chin? How can she talk about kindness? Doesn't she feel like a cliche? How can she, and so many questions, right? So many questions, so many. Doesn't she feel like she's a grandstander? I mean, I've heard it all. Doesn't she feel embarrassed? Not anymore. And that's why I'm speaking out now. Because I have the right to be here in this room, on this computer, and I have the right to upload this video to the public of 3 heaven-bound chatbots that view my videos. I have the right to do that. That is it's my right. And if other people watch the video, they can walk away from it. And if some people feel like this sort of resonates, then my job is done. Okay? So then I can just say, see, you are not alone in this. There's other people like us. There's a bunch of other people like that. You're not alone in this soup or matrix of confusion and corruption and harassment in the world. You're not alone. Take nothing personally. The writer Don Miguel Ruiz wrote about this. He made it very crystal clear. Real advanced soul. Take nothing personally. People do what they do out of their own pain, out of their own fear, out of their own insecurity. That's a fact. Okay? It is a fact. My mother too, the reptiles too, the underworld people too, the ones that dress up like the god Faunus, they're all very confused people. Very, very confused. For them it's all power. It's a power play, power game. None of this is power. Real power is true love. Okay? That's a fact. And I thought about earlier what they may have done to Charlie Kirk, because there are people in the underground world, and this is a real hammer now that I'm talking about. This is real, real sad. But I sensed it before I even learned about it. I sensed it psychically. I have psychic vision sometimes. That for most of my life I've brushed off as crazy, because they told me I'm crazy, so I believed I'm crazy, right? Not a good idea to do. Don't do it. Don't believe them. You're not crazy. If you have a vision of some people that want to play God in the underworld, or that are drinking people's blood, that's a vision of facts. It's not made up. It's not your mind being confused or crazy or something. These are visions. Those are insights. And I suffered from these visions. I call them intrusive thoughts. Sometimes there are people that try to project visions into me also. And it takes a long time to figure all of this out. Is this my thought? Is this a premonition? Is this a clairvoyance? Is this someone else's thought projected into my head? All of these things are happening. Okay? A psychiatrist in the past would have written me a prescription for Zyprexa. Okay? Don't take Zyprexa. I've tried all of this. it ruins your kidneys and your liver. I made it out alive from under that shit. I had to quit it all. I knew, and Dr. Schultz saved my life. Dr. Richard Schultz, with his botanical pharmacy in LA, was right around the corner from us. He saved my life. He doesn't even know me, but he saved my life because a massage therapist from France told me about him. And I'm deeply grateful to her for that. Deeply grateful to her. So, I wanted her to come with me to a spa because I was so grateful to her for that. But she didn't want to come to the spa. She didn't trust me. She thought I was gay or what. I wanted something from her. Oh God, couldn't be further from the truth. I just wanted to be grateful to her, to show my appreciation. But I do it always in the most dorky and most misunderstandable way possible. That's part of my life. But anyway, let's get to this really, really horrible thing now. So, I had visions in the past of people drinking people's blood. That's before I ever heard about satanic cults and all of that. And I could tell something was going on with that. And so one thing leads me to another thing. A movie might make me research something. Movie about the girl that had her kidney removed, okay, and bled to death, and then I realized there is this underworld market of organ sales. They sell organ from innocent children and people. They snatch somewhere. They sell their organs and they sell their blood. And there are people in the underworld. They're not only living in the underworld. I mean underworld in a metaphorical way. But there's an actual underworld. Literal underworld. Those people are in the underworld. And they are also in the overworld. They have their nice mansion in the overworld, and they have their apartments in the underworld as well. So they're always back and forth. And those are the people that belong to the stringholder world. George Soros is most likely one of them. Peter Thiel, probably one of them. Okay. And these underworld people, I don't know about all of them, but I think probably most of them, they think that if they eat fresh cells from another living being, from a child or a young animal, they take these fresh cells and they can make themselves young again. Now I'm putting all of these pieces together. Back in Germany, I didn't know anything about this. I had a dog. He was suffering from cancer. I brought him to a homeopathic plant medicine practitioner for animals. A woman of high status. Her husband, an architect. She said we can do fresh cell cure with him. Real expensive. My dad paid for it. Innocently, naively. I pay for whenever someone needs help, and my dad included the animals, so I'm deeply grateful to my dad for that. My dad has a lot of good in him. A lot of good. And so does my mother. But my mother was very confused. And my dad was very busy in his mind, thinking about status more than anything else. It was consuming him. It's very sad. I view it as a mental illness. But he cared. So we did the fresh cell cure. It didn't help my dog at all. Not at all. And then later on I realized, Where do these fresh cells come from? Probably from an innocent baby animal, right? Ooh, then I thought I had my second thoughts. I'm like, oh gosh, how horrible, okay? I didn't put these pieces together. I didn't realize it. I was desperately trying to help my dog. And then, many years after that, I hear bits and pieces about the underworld, about fresh cell cures for people who think they can make themselves young again. Then I hear about babies being sacrificed for that purpose. Human babies also. That said, it doesn't make taking human babies for that any worse than taking baby animals. Just want to make this very crystal clear. There's no difference between human babies and animal babies. Okay, they're both equally precious, equally important, and equally deserving of existence and life and happiness and love. Okay, not fear, not terror, not being sacrificed for some horror game that takes their blood and their blood serum and the adrenochrome that is collected in the blood. And then I read about adrenochrome. I came across that while searching about organ hunts. I found an article on that. And there it was, filling in puzzle pieces again. And I felt like my heart stops when I saw that name, adrenochrome. Immediately, when I see a word, it fills in entire volumes of information sometimes for me psychically. And I saw the whole picture, all of it. I saw the entire underworld with their idiotic beliefs, same idiotic beliefs as some Chinese think that they can become sexually potent again by eating some animal parts and stuff like that. Okay. Same idiotic, totally idiotic thing. So want to make this one thing very crystal clear here to people. Harvesting blood or animal parts or human body parts and eating that will not make you younger, smarter, or have more power. This is a fact. Okay? It's an absolute fact. And so there are people in the underworld that think, particularly, zooming in on some people, like on some people that they will see in some public figures, or some people they see that impress them, like some people like Charlie Kirk, or someone like Marilyn Monroe, or someone like, I don't know, I'm making this up now as I go, someone, a great pianist, right, or some extraordinary painter or beauty creator or beautiful person or kind person or whatever. And they know they don't have that, but they want that. So they will pay a humongous amount of money. They will pay $100 million to hitman to snatch this person, bring that person to them, then they will terrorize that person in their whatever devil worshipping ceremonies. And the more they terrorize that person, the more adrenochrome that person develops. And then they will harvest that person's organs, and in the end they will harvest their entire blood. That how many, I don't know how many liters we have in our body. 10 liters, or I don't know. They'll drain that entire person of their blood. And then they make these drugs out of it for themselves. This is infinitely horrific. And I don't know if that's what happened to Charlie Kirk, but there are people in the underworld that will see someone like Charlie Kirk, and they will think, oh, if I just drink his blood, then I can be powerful like him, that I can be connected to the cosmos, then I have total power. No, you will not have total power. You will not be connected to the cosmos, because a connection to the infinite cosmos doesn't happen through ingesting someone's blood or organs. That's a fact. That's a biological fact. All it does, it will ruin your liver. It will actually make your liver into a fat liver with fatty tissue, where your liver will fail, and you will start to have skin like Kamala Harris. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happened because of ingesting other people's organs, meat, and blood. I would not be surprised. Okay. And Hunter Biden, okay, if he hadn't ruined his liver from the drugs he takes, then maybe he has ruined it through adrenochrome and eating babies. So I used to think this is all Christian stuff, conspiracy stuff. Apparently it's not, okay? This stuff is happening, and it's pathetic. It's not powerful or like we have to bow down to them now or something. No, it's pathetic. That's what it is. And it's crumbling down. It's coming down, okay? The stuff is coming down. The people are going to be exposed one by one. Okay, and as they're being exposed, this establishment of the underworld becomes more and more frantic. And when they become frantic, they make more and more bold, but insane movements, more and more drastic movements that will expose them even further. There will be like a red flag to the whole world, how insane they are, and where they are standing. Like, here I am, insane, come and get me. Okay, so it's coming, okay? And anyone in this group, in this underworld group, if you have any 3 brain cells left and any compassion, momentum, or any spark of compassion left, come forward and blow the whistle on every single person. Peace and love for all living beings.